my name is Danielle and this is my channel Start Pages. Today I'm doing my July wrap up and August TBR. So I read 8 books in July. I don't have any other stats, but I'm going to start tracking page numbers, etc. in August. The first book I read was Auditory Viewpoint by Lillian R. Melendez. I should mention that most of the books I read were ebooks sent to me by the authors to review over on my blog. Auditory Viewpoint is about a blind girl who tries to help her sister after the sister's identity was stolen and she was framed for multiple crimes. So I gave this one 1.5 stars and I DNF'd it at 52% because the writing I felt was overly formal and this led to it being awkward and choppy, and the story only moved along because the characters found themselves in convenient circumstances or things just fell into their lap. So they didn't really do anything on their own. The next book I read was Lockdown by Ayla Black. I gave this one 3 stars. This one was about a girl who discovers she has powers after she dies and comes back to life, and she is sent to a prison with other children like her. She makes a couple friends there and they all try to escape. I like this one. I thought it was interesting, but it was lacking a lot of background information. So I felt like it just glanced over a lot of things that would have helped the story along if I knew more. The next thing I read was Identity by Alexandra Baer. This one is about a girl whose boyfriend dumped her while they're in college, and then she makes a new friend, and this friend turns out to be a famous actress, and then her life gets more interesting from there. I gave this one 4 stars. I like the main character, I like the friendship, but I also felt that the problems that came up in their friendship, a lot of them could have been avoided because it was kind of the same thing over and over again. The next thing I read was Kiss and Tell by Nadine C. Kells. This one is about This one is about 2 best friends from high school through college get an opportunity to work together. And this one is exciting because they're both in love with each other, but they both think it's unrequited. I give this one 3 stars, but I'm kind of thinking 2.5 stars now because it was a novella, but it still felt rushed. I think it could have done better if it was a full-length book. And the main romantic relationship felt more platonic than romantic. I didn't feel anything for the relationship, and I didn't think it had any romantic aspects. The next book I read was The Order of TSP. I gave this one 2 stars. This is about 2 people who just had a one-night stand and they discover that they are linked and they are part of something much bigger than they could have imagined. And this one, it read like a prequel, which means that it was giving information like I already knew it, or like I already had another information from a previous story, but this was the first book in a series, or at least I think it's a part of a series. So I really felt like I was missing a lot of things and I couldn't enjoy the story. The next thing I read was Dismantling Vindictiveness, also by Lillian R. Melendez. I DNF'd this one at 35%. It had the same problem as Auditory Viewpoint, overly formal writing, and also not a lot of character development. This one was about a businessman whose business is being tampered with, and his business partner's employees are being murdered, and he's trying to solve the mystery before it's too late. Next book I read was Anne of Windy Poplars. This is the 4th book in the Anne of Green Gables series. I gave this one 5 stars. I mostly loved it because of the Anne and Gilbert content in the letters that she wrote to Gilbert, but I also loved it because of the characters that Anne met and the way how it was written, because it was written in both letter format and regular narrative format. This one was about Anne after she graduates from Redmond College. She takes a teaching job at Summerside High where she meets new friends and she has to deal with the Pringles. The last book I read was Witchy, which was a graphic novel I got in an All Crate box. I don't remember which month it was. I gave it 3.5 stars. This one was about a world where the strength of your magic is determined by the length of your hair, and if your hair is deemed too long, then you're annihilated in a process called witch burning. And a young girl who has the longest hair anybody has ever seen lost her father to a burning a while back, and now she faces the possibility of being burned herself. So my TBR for August, the first book is Red Dragon by Thomas Harris. This one is about the FBI agent who hunted Hannibal Lecter. He's now hunting a serial killer called Red Dragon. The second book is Emily's Emily's Runaway Imagination. I had this one from like grade 2. I haven't read it yet. It's about spunky Emily Bartlett. Lives in an old farmhouse in Pitchfork, Oregon, at a time when automobiles are a brand new invention and libraries are a luxury few small towns can afford. Her runaway imagination leads her to bleach a horse, hold a very scary sleepover, and feed the hogs an unusual treat. But can she use her lively mind to help bring a library to Pitchfork? The next book is Bone Criers Moon. I also got this one in an alt crate. This one is about a girl. What's her name? Elise, who is trying to become a bone crier, and in order to do that she has to kill the boy she's destined to love. Bastian is out for revenge, as his father was killed by that whole process to become a bone crier, and the best friend of Elise has to break the bond between Elise and Bastian because Elise was kidnapped, so she has to save them before it was too late. Next book is You Should See Me in a Crown by Leah Johnson. This one is about a black girl living in a small town, and when the music scholarship she was counting on falls through, she has to run for prom queen, as the person who wins homecoming queen or prom queen gets a scholarship, and the only problem is she's kind of a social outlier and she's falling for one of the girls who's also running. The next book was sent to me by the author City of York. This one is about the kingdom has been around for as long as mud has been on the planet. Magic abounds and dragons are its physical manifestation. Once vibrant and proud, they now live in varying states of depression after having their wings split. New dragons have not been created since that fateful day, and the magical force has only dwindled with the passing of each dragon. The community, the residents of the kingdom, are no longer the dominant beings of the world. They have ceded that title to humans, or as they so inconsiderate call them, Promies. To ensure the kingdom's survival, the Council of Elders made the monumental decision to concentrate all the magic in one place, New York City. From the far corners of the world, the exodus occurred. Dubbed the City of York by this mythical community, here they all followed the order to stay concealed and not bring harm to the general population. Unbeknownst to the inhabitants at large, the community lives among them. And the last book I'm going to read is The Umbrella Academy, the first one, Apocalypse Suite by Gerard Way and Gabriel Ba. I think that's how you pronounce it. This one is about 7 siblings are adopted by a millionaire inventor because of their extraordinary power in order to save the world. Years later, they reunite as the millionaire inventor has passed and they have to save the world once again. My wrap-up. I also DNF Requiem Changing Times by R.J. Parker. I was also sent this by the author to review. But I was, I think 20% into it. I haven't met the main characters yet. And the first couple of chapters were a collection of different stories that did not blend together and seemingly had no connections. I might read it again at a later date, but right now I'm just going to write the review of what I read. My 5-star predictions for August are You Should See Me in a Crown, Umbrella Academy, and Red Dragon. The other ones I think I'm going to enjoy them, but these 3 I think I'm going to give them 5 stars. That's everything regarding liking, commenting, and subscribing. Do what you want. Bye.